Andy Roddick, Ruffner Down, he was small, Fabio Fanini, and me.
And Jun Sheng Chang, you heard it here first.
The best players in the world use a Pure Drive, and we're going to tell you why. Today we have the brand new Pure Drive Gen 11 98. You can tell it's 98, it's got a nice little red edition. This is like, I guess, the tour spec Racket.
Yep.
305 grams, 98 square inch head to go up along with the Pure Strike 97 and the Pure Aero 98.
Yeah, it is the 98 version of the Pure Drive Classic, the 300 gram, 100 square inch. The key thing is that this is a very different racket, and we're going to spend today trying to find out exactly what is different and how it plays.
Yeah, so for those that's seen our Pure Drive review of the 300 gram version, you'll know that there wasn't a huge update in terms of mold or layout or anything whilst being improved. In this 98, there has been some change.
There has.
So we're going to go through those changes, and then we're going to put it through its paces.
So, what are the specs of this new 98?
So obviously it's called the Pure Drive 98, so surprise, surprise, it is a 98 square inch head. That hasn't changed from the previous one. It is a 305 gram unstrung racket, so again, hasn't changed. Now, string pattern, we've added a cross. It is now a 1620. What's that going to do?
Well, in theory, it's going to densen up the string bed, provide a little bit more control, take away a little bit of spin and power.
So now we get into the tech.
Yes.
So for those of you already into your tech, we have Flax Tape 2.0. This is the same as what was in the 300 gram version, the new one, and it's at 3 and 9, so the sides of the frame. It's tightened up in Flax Tape 2.0, allowing for more comfort and more control. The downside of the Pure Drive's always been too much power, can't control it. The 98 is the more players style frame, so to even add another layer of control, we have a new elliptical frame.
Where, Josh?
So the elliptical frame is at 10 and 2, and we have the 98 here, and Ben has the 300 gram, and you can actually see the flatter frame here at 10 and 2 compared to the rounder one, and obviously rounder is going to make it bigger, therefore more powerful. This, a more elliptical shape here at 10 and 2, adding some control. So we've got Flax Tape 2.0, an elliptical frame, a new cross string. It is strung with RPM Blast at 50 pounds. Let's see how good it is.
Yeah, can't wait.
So the Pure Drive 98, we've just got off court from using it, and it's brilliant. In fact, it's so good, I potentially would choose to use it over the normal Pure Drive, which I love. Yeah,
so the main, obviously the main point of the 98 is to sort of add some control, a bit more of a player's frame than the 300, and it really has managed to do that. Like it is a significant step down in terms of power, a significant step up in terms of control, and it just works really, really nicely as a good high-level tennis racket.
Yeah, I maybe wouldn't use, personally, I wouldn't maybe use significant. I think there is, the power is obviously reduced from the 300 gram version, and the control is obviously up, but I think maybe it's subtler than that. It's certainly still a powerful frame, and what I'm actually interested to do is when we compared the old Pure Drive 98 to the Pure Strike 97 and the Aero 98, we had the Pure Drive 98 as the bottom one we didn't like, and across those sorts of rackets we didn't think it was as good. I think this one may now really be in the mix, so I'm interested to test it against those two.
Yeah, and I think that's the main change. Likewise with the 300, 100. Likewise with the standard Pure Drive, the 300 gram, the 98 just feels so much nicer. They're like the flax tape, the elliptical frame, whatever it is, the combination has just created a much nicer playing experience rather than, you know, this very stiff, unpleasant racket that the old Pure Drives were. The new one just feels really, really nice. So what could be wrong with that?
Yeah, so Pure Drive 98, a great racket. First thoughts, get one now. So let's go through our categories, starting with number 1, power, super power in the Pure Drive. In the 98, is it still powerful?
Yes, but nowhere near as much.
As what?
As the old one, I would say.
Yeah.
Or the 300 gram. Yeah, it does what it's meant to do. It's meant to be a control frame, and part of being a control frame is having less power, and it does.
Yeah, I think if you start looking through the lens of players' frames, it is a powerful version of a sort of player frame.
Yes.
Close to a tour spec frame. So in that sense, it certainly has power. But if you're comparing it to kind of the mainstream range of rackets, then the power not the same. Spin.
Yeah, so very similarly to the Pure Drive 300, it's not called the Pure Drive 300, is it?
It's the only way to distinguish.
Yeah, similarly to the other Pure Drive, the 300, the 100 square inch 300 gram version, the 98 doesn't have huge amounts of spin, but you can still play with spin if you want. Like obviously all rackets you can, you're just not going to get a huge amount from a Pure Drive 98.
Yeah, obviously with the addition of the extra cross string, this has made the biggest difference on spin. Obviously a denser string pattern, less string movement, it's going to be harder to generate that huge amounts of topspin.
Yeah.
Obviously, with RPM blast in it, with that shaped string, you can still do it. So in this setup, we were certainly creating spin. It wasn't an issue. But if you were comparing it to, say, Pure Aero 98, it's not the same. So spin is not its number one thing, but can be generated. So control and precision, this is the surprise, because Pure Drive by name is not that.
No.
But this Pure Drive 98, much, much better. I don't know whether it is the flax tape, the elliptical frame, a combination of the two, but the control, really nice.
Yeah, it's almost like they took Babolat took the old Pure Drive 98 and sort of pulled it back like towards the middle, almost. Like the old one was quite wild, very, very powerful, very, very stiff. Not huge amounts of control, and the additions have just sort of been, let's just temper it down a little bit, make it a bit more of an all-rounder, but obviously on the power side.
Yeah.
So you're not getting huge amounts of control and precision because it is a power frame, but you're getting way more than you used to, and probably way more than you'd expect.
I think, like I said earlier, if you compare to the Pure Strike 97 and the Pure Aero 98, it's probably this probably pulls itself closer to the others in terms of a control player's frame. You then just have the Pure Strike slightly more precise, the Aero obviously more spin, and this slightly more power, but they're much tighter as a range than they were. Touch and feel. Thank God for Flax Tape 2.0.
God, well, through God all things are possible, so jot that down.
Yeah, the addition of Flax Tape 2.0 I think has helped because it feels so much better, and that's the main thing that's been added and changed.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of old Pure Drives, 100 square inch, 98s, any of them really, because of just the way they felt, and the new version 11, generation 11, just feels so much nicer. It's such a more pleasurable experience playing with this version than anything that's come before.
That's why I like the 98, and I'm so tempted in changing, because you still get the leaning towards power, obviously.
Yeah.
You get the added control and the improved feel.
Yes.
So whereas it used to be kind of Pure Drive was just power, and it was like its secondary characteristic, I know probably maybe was a bit of feel, but not really. Now I feel like it does have some secondary characteristics that are genuine and genuinely good.
Yeah.
And that's why it's improved as an entire racket.
Yes, it is a much better version of a Pure Drive.
This sounds awfully lot like a summary.
Yeah.
So the Pure Drive 98, as we've just gone through, a brilliant racket for brilliant players.
Yes, so one of Babolat's sort of company-wide selling points to me has always been they're very, very good at being obvious. So the Aero is great for spin, the Pure Drive is great for power, and the Strike is great for control, and they were very, very obvious. Now what seems to have happened in the past is they went a bit too far, and players, good players, high-level players were sort of going, this is just a bit nuts, I can't use this Pure Drive, it's way too powerful, I can't use this Pure Strike, it's way too stiff and doesn't feel, and the latest versions have all sort of come back to the pack a little bit. So if you are a very, very good player and you want some power and you want to use a Pure Drive, it now starts to make sense because it feels nicer and it's not quite as wild as the older ones.
Yeah, if we talk about the type of player that's going to enjoy a Pure Drive 98, it is, as we've said, a proper player's frame. Because it's a 98 square inch head, your timing needs to be a little bit better, but you're going to get those benefits of control and feel if you're timing the ball really nicely, as opposed to sort of stronger club players. They're going to be sort of on the cusp between maybe the normal Pure Drive or the Pure Drive 98. But above that level, you're looking county level players, and above, you're going to much prefer the 98 because of the element of control, because you're generating so much of your own power anyway.
Yes, it just makes more sense as a racket for better players than it used to. It's very, very good, a significant upgrade. saying no matter who you are.
So if I'm saying that I maybe prefer this than the other ones, does that mean I'm now an advanced player?
Yes, I think you are getting better at tennis. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done, you. You've now graduated.
In 33 years, it's the nicest thing he's ever said to me.
You're getting better. Not even you're good, just you're getting better.
If you have enjoyed this review and you haven't seen it, please check out our Pure Drive review, the 300 gram version. This is obviously the Pure Drive 98.
Thank you very much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the review. If you like it, please like, share and subscribe. If you didn't like it, leave us a comment. We might reply, depends how nice you are.
Fine, just say goodbye.
Goodbye.